See how that's rocking there?
All right.
Yeah, that looks good.
Looks good,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello,
Here we are.
Dr. Morse, and we're doing a YouTube video here talking about fasting and working the juice fasting. I mean, what'd you say you had? What? How many months of what?
Just about 4 months. It was about 70 days of grape juice, mostly.
Ooh,
Yeah. There was some lemons in there too, but it was 75 days of that. And then I didn't want to stop that, but with it's like most people, they know when they can't handle the fruit.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the opposite. It was the longer that I went on it, it was getting more and more powerful, and so it really, you'll never stop getting surprised on this, right?
No, you never will.
You never will.
You never will.
Right.
What a journey, eh?
It's.
Then you did oranges, what?
Then I did about a month on OJ, and yeah.
Well, for me, it was the same thing. I did 6 months on navel oranges, and
Right.
it was like I couldn't get enough, and it was more and more and more. What made me break it was the energy that you get.
Yeah. Yes. And
You too?
well, I would have went a lot longer, but it was just a combination of like my lease was up down here, and I was trying to find I've been having a hard time finding a place without mold, pets, smoke, and all
Good luck.
toxins. And,
Oh man,
and,
you have to live in the woods.
right.
That's what I did.
Yeah. And so basically, it was just having that lack of community was what was really starting to drag on me, because
Was it really? You didn't take it inward and get into the self?
I did it for quite a while, but just with I've been on the road and traveling, and I work on the road, and
Well, you got a cabin in Maine, right?
I do, but it started to get to, which I wanted to ask you later. It started to get too isolating, and I'm trying to figure out how to reintegrate back into like society and stuff, and I'm doing like for a while I was like, I don't need community. I can just be and I was content. I was content up until a year and a half ago when I got super diseased to just be in the woods, even in the winter, climb mountains all the time, be with the bears and the moose, and I was content on a lot of levels, but it wasn't nourishing spiritually. It wasn't purpose. It wasn't any of that. But it was. But now I'm like, no, I don't want my homestead. I want the fruitstead. I need my tropical paradise.
Exactly. Forget the bears and that. You want down on there with the beach and the fruit trees and the coconut trees. Well, it's fitting more with man, although I like to get in the woods and kind of energize with the mountains every once in a while. But
yeah, right.
Well, you bring up something important, and that is because I've been a seeker of the alone state. I've been a seeker of that which exists. And it is through you, the doorway. There's plenty of spiritual giants that have said, you're the living truth, you're the doorway. It isn't, you can't take a rocket ship to the doorway to the God worlds or to the heavens. You're the doorway. But people go, well, how am I the doorway? But it's consciousness versus thought. And when you get into these higher levels of fruit, you pull more into consciousness and less thinking. You notice that at all? Where it kind of quiets your mind, but it like expands you?
Yeah. And it just takes away any sort of irritation in your mind and your body. It's just,
have fun, and it does. It's hard to explain to others how it takes that irritation out. It's not like this. It's like a buzz, but it's like consciousness. It's no longer thought, and like you said, agitated thought and emotions. It like quiets you because it's energetic. Energy's consciousness, and it's like hard to explain it if you don't understand that side of it. Boy, I'm proud of you. That's pretty good. Yeah, but there was a point where I had to come out of the woods. I did. I had to come out because I said, how can I help man, right?
Yeah.
So I would get to the edge of the woods and I'd look out over these developments and I'd go, I don't know if I can go back because humans are interesting. Like on our YouTube site, they're judgmental, some of them, they're trolls and stuff like this. And all the good people out there trying to get well, and then someone throws in these negative things and it's like, why be negative? If it doesn't fit your shoe, don't wear it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, enjoy someone's experience for what it is, and if it doesn't, turn to something else, but people have to be negative at negative times. So,
very.
I know. So,
it's so thick right now, the duality.
It is thick.
It's
It is.
That was the problem. Is I was like, I experienced some things that I might not tell too many people about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot I haven't told. with anybody yet because it's
Yeah,
extremely powerful, and humans are not ready for some of these levels, you know.
Right.
No offense, but it's
Yeah.
true. There's a world of awareness and beings that when you tap that, you start interfacing with beings that are just extremely awake. And the masters start coming and helping you more, and it's just like, how fast do you want to become that which is?
Yeah.
So I had to kind of ground myself, believe this or not. I had to come off the fruit. It wasn't that I got sick or not. My body wanted more and more and more, but I was buzzing. I could feel my blood energetically. It's like, holy crap! I got to ground a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
So you might find that.
Yeah.
One guy went over to Thailand and living on the Thai fruits, some of the best in the world. And he called me and says, well, how do I ground myself? He said, I got so much energy, I never get tired, I never sleep anymore, because you're becoming consciousness, which doesn't have yin and yang, it doesn't have positive and negative, it doesn't sleep, it just is.
Yeah.
I know, that's pretty exciting.
It really is.
Yeah, but you got to ground, a little bit.
It
Might be
is.
your time to get back in,
Interface
with humans and teach them what you learned. And
Well, I've been really trying to do that, but I feel this, when I'm not at your classes or when I'm not at a fruit festival, it's like, the other 11 months of the year, I'm just like, whoa. You guys know, right? You guys know, it's like, we're not lost, but we feel lost sometimes,
yeah,
but
we're found.
Exactly.
We're found, and that's
Yes.
the point. It's home. Someone said this site feels like home. It is home, guys, because that's we teach home. We teach God awareness, and you don't have to do anything to have it, because you already are from it, if I can use that analogy, already are here. And there is nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. The heavens aren't some place you travel to. It is some place that exists omnipresently, omnipotently, and omnisciently. So it's just something that, it's like you say, that fruit level. Now some people struggle. I think they get bad fruit too. They get bad fruit. And then a lot of people interface with the mind and emotions, where a guy like you and me, we just let it all go.
Oh, yeah.
We're let it all go, because you want the ultimate. You got to let all this little stuff in yourself go. Develop humility for life and go, I found the answers. I found the doorway.
Yeah.
And just keep surrendering to the doorway.
Yeah. And it's just like riding a bike.
It is.
The more you do it,
exactly.
It's like, I talk a lot about spirituality. I talk about the mind and stopping the cycles and the patterns and stuff on my channel. And it's like the moment that we can just tap, it's like the nanosecond, even less, just that we can tap in and figure out, oh, is this the past, the future? Is this my worries, my planning? Is this me? Am I in my body right now? Do I know I'm a living being? Like, it's just like riding a bike, right?
It is.
It's work, though.
Well, here's the thing. That once you start getting into that more awareness,
right,
then the mind comes in and goes, but.
Yeah.
You go, no buts. I just am. No, but. And it's like, am I thinking? And it's the thoughts that trap you. Your very thoughts. And it's like, sometimes they're not even your thoughts, because you have the negative forces, the controller of those. And that's the game out there. How much of awareness do you want, and how much stability can you have with that outside of the mind? See,
right.
Because the mind defines, gives you definition, where consciousness doesn't have definition to it. So it's scary for some who need definition to define themselves. Yeah. Good job, though. Some of these guys are kicking it, man. They're year raw, year fruit. Hey, what about that lady's 27 years fruitarian? It's like, oh my God, honey, you're a prize, because that's amazing.
Are you talking about Ann Osborne? There's a few of them.
I know. It's like, man, my love goes out to those guys. 'Cause I couldn't do it. I had to ground. I was working out. I couldn't stay in my body. I like, boom, it was like, holy crap. So I kind of had to ground, and realize who's the traveler as opposed to traveling,
Mm-hmm. Like you were just saying about, are the thoughts yours or not?
Exactly.
There's that collective subconscious thing. So if we were back in the tropics 3,000 years ago or whatever, it would be a lot easier to be on this fruit level, because it's the natural food of man. It's just,
come on. It's hard to define that, but quality of fruit makes a big difference. I had a homeopath in Romania, and she was sick as all get out. And I said, well, you got Thailand right over there. Why don't you just go over there for a few weeks? She went over there for 2 or 3 weeks, and she said, on Thai fruit, all her symptoms disappeared. So the quality of food makes a big difference. You know, some food, like some of these oranges that come in here are organic, they're acidic as heck. And it's like, that's not truly organic. Because if you raise your fruit organically, mostly you're going to see high carbon. You're going to see sweet, nirvanic, you know, just like good lemons. They don't have to be super tart. I mean, a good Myers lemon off of a tree, ripe, organic. I mean, you know. Those pineapples that they sent me from Hawaii,
gosh.
it's like, I eat it and every time I'm going, I think I'm having a nirvanic experience. Really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, man should spend his time about the quality of his food. We were raised farming, and the farmers back then were yield crazy. Monsanto and these companies were pushing yields and yields. Well, farmers were thinking cha-ching, cha-ching, you know, because, you know, all the hard work. And they didn't realize the suffering of the quality of the soil and the quality of the food, and that you're going to have that go backwards. And time, the quality of the soils are going down. You can't keep hitting it like that, and you're going to lose quality and lose production even. So when you flip to organic, it's like, oh, baby, mulching and things like that. If we can just train our farmers. Our strawberries around here used to be so sweet, they would melt in your mouth. And one strawberry farmer said, well, we had to change because they were too hard to grow.
Right.
Well, who cares?
Right.
I mean, I would be proud of my food. I'm a farmer. This is my food.
Right.
Do you like?
Yeah.
Oh, look, he likes.
People pay. You know, it's like Patagonia, the company. People pay for that quality and for the environmental stuff, and it's like there's such a low.
I know.
Whatever it is.
I know it is.
Just,
It's low consciousness, you know, and we've got to. But that's why we have beautiful YouTube sites. I love YouTube. They definitely have helped the world a lot by offering this level of interaction. And our group is just such a beautiful group because they're like, you guys are just really getting into it, finding your ways, finding your balances, because it is a spiritual journey, much as you know. It is a spiritual journey because it quiets, like you said, quiets your mind and emotions. And when you start quieting that, you start seeing more, knowing more. Isn't that neat?
It's really neat.
I know. So what are you going to do now?
What am I going to do now?
You got freezing weather in Maine.
Oh no, I'm trying to either get down to the tropics because I don't work till June-ish.
Go to Costa Rica. Everybody's heading down there.
I think that's where I'm going.
You know, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's so much beauty in the tropics. I mean, that's where my heart is. You know, this is the subtropics. I'm just still a little east, and I could go down a little further, like just about 50 miles away. You can grow some of the best fruit on the planet on Pine Island. Some of the Dr. Jensen used to fly in here and get those big, huge mangoes. The Valencia Prides. Well, I've got about 4 big Valencia Pride trees, and if it freezes, I lose.
Right.
So I got to have heat lamps and everything else.
Yeah.
But my God, it's like nectar of the friggin' gods, man. I know.
So lovely. Oh my gosh.
You ever see animals? They do this animal thing, and they're just how animals get buzzes. And look at the birds down here. Sometimes they get on a berry tree and they get buzzed. They'll fly into things. They're not careful. They get a buzz eating the berries, man.
They do. Yeah. The seagulls too. They like grapes. I'm like,
oh my God.
They know good stuff. I had these seeded organic globe grapes. I know they're not in season, but they're from Peru, and I was like, okay, I'll get some of these. And they know how to grow fruit down in South America. There's seeds.
Yeah, the propaganda up here tries to discourage that. It's like, excuse me.
Yeah.
You know, our southern brothers, they like good tasting food.
Right.
You know, I get these elders in here from the islands, and they're in their 90s and early 100s, and it's like, you look really good.
Yeah, right.
You're 100 years old, and you really look good. You look like you're 60 or 50. What were you raised on? Fruit. In the olden days, that they poor islands, that's all they had was fruit. They didn't even eat meat. You know, then they introduced the meat. Well, the higher caste, some of those, started eating meat. Well, you know what happened to them. So, you know, all the good-hearted people, they kept on the fruits, and boy, they looked good. Had their teeth in their 80s, you know.
Yep.
Love that. Proof's in the pudding there.
Truly is.
Yeah.
And the longer you go on it, because I've been raw, pretty raw, mostly fruit.
So what's your body going through? You felt different cycles or anything?
You know, it's been a year and a half raw, and most of about, not totally, but long stints of it, and mostly fruit for me. And it's like, And there's a few months of just juice, so it wasn't a full year. I found out about you a little under a year and a half ago, but basically my body, let me just say this, a year and a half, I'm starting to get to some really high levels, but I'm not told. Healing takes time. This is true healing, and I've been looking for it my entire life. I've been organic 10 plus years, gluten and dairy free 8 or 9 years, non-G, all of that crap, all of it, the grass fed, all that for such a long period of time, and like always trying to find the truth of health.
Another step up,
right? And here it is, and this is the truth. I have to spread it. Like after level 2, I just went back to the hotel. I let it out, and I'm like, I have to spread this truth. I have to give it back. But
fun
like,
stuff, ain't it?
But I did meander, and it's really fun. But basically, like what I was saying before I went into that tangent was, like if I just went raw for like 7 months, maybe 9 months, maybe a year, and did not mess up, or even probably less, probably 6 months, I would be in a whole nother. But it's just that one meal of cooked food. If you're not,
meal
can really set you back.
One meal.
If it's not the right time.
Exactly.
I tell people to
try it, do all raw, and then just do one meal of cooked. Or those people that have to have their meat and potatoes, because we get all levels here in their
right.
serious problems,
Yeah.
And so not all of them have the agenda to be at the levels that we like. So I get that, and that's okay.
Right.
But if you want to get well, you're full of acidosis, and you're burning from head to toe. You got tumors all through. You got to toe the line a little bit,
Yeah.
But they still want to go back and say, "Oh, go ahead for a while, then go back and see it kick your butt." They do. They come in and go, "Oh, that kicked my butt bad." Yeah. You can't go back sometimes, your body doesn't want that kind of, I don't even call it food. People say out there this big paleo movement. It's dead cells and stagnant blood. They think it's healthy, and what is it? It's dead tissue. And it's like, what's healthy about dead tissue? And if you cook it energetically, it's zero. You have to eat it raw to get any electromagnetic energy out of it. And then what are you getting? It's like, another
protein,
acid,
pain,
I know,
ow.
Pain, ow, another acid ash food. Then I lose my calcium, cramping, and no.
It's just another fad diet, Dr.
It
Morse.
is.
It's just like the raw food diet. It's not a fad diet. Right?
That's the way it is. Well, look at Dr. Oz. He took 12 people to the zoo. You never hear anything about that anymore. His show's pushing supplements.
Did they just kind of course, they just try to go, hey, this never happened. They're trying to erase it.
Yeah, he's trying to erase it. Now he's being a medical doctor. And of course, Congress pulled him in for pushing supplements that don't work. And it's like, good, Remy's butt. Here's a guy that touched it and then walked away from it. And I tell you, once in a while I see him fit up, and I bet he's on raw. But he doesn't push it. And it's like, what's wrong with him?
Oh.
Huh. I know. Well, when people understand the lymphatic system more, they understand what's going on with that, they understand the fruit levels and the power of that energetically into the cells, my God, it regenerates. It lifts every cell up into its higher blueprint, and cells regenerate themselves. It's amazing. The body realigns itself. It if you're hanging on like this, the body will actually pull itself and realign it. What power is that?
The power.
I know. I've seen some things in my world. I'm working on people, and it's like, my jaw still drops sometimes. Like, really? The body did that? It was amazing to see some of this stuff. Healing old fractures and realigning the hips and everything on its own. Scoliosis always pulls itself straight. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Where's the power? That's the power of the raw. It's the power of higher consciousness, higher foods. People don't understand that medical doctors are so lost in the fields of nowhere land. It's like, couldn't even come to that. They need to understand these higher levels. Even if you can't attain them, that's okay, but understand that when you put your shoes on and you're putting them on the fruit side, you're going to soar. Fruits and berries, I mean, holy crap. Up where you are, we got the blueberries and blackberries and all.
But I'm like never there during that time.
Oh,
so it's like, when I'm there, I go forage for a month, and I'm like trying to stock up for like a bear would do.
But like a bear would do.
But,
I see these Alaska shows, and they're out there picking the blueberries, but then, it's winter time, whatever, and it's like, oh no. And in fact, I was looking at this one magazine, and they have a new blackberry that's about as big as my thumb, and I'm going, they guarantee sweet and all that. I'm going, I wonder if I can grow them here in Florida, because we have alkaline soils, and berries need acidic soils, and I'm like, oh, but maybe I could grow those there, because having big, huge, sweet blackberries growing all over the place, or big, plump blueberries, they got huge blueberries now, but they're never sweet.
They're
you get blueberries, they're bitter. I'm going, bitter blueberries, melt in your mouth is honey. I know.
Food supply is just slowly getting.
I know. You said you had some questions. What do you think?
Yeah, there's questions. I was going to ask you about. I wasn't sure how this was going to happen because, it was scheduled. Yeah, it was scheduled for an interview, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna buckle up because the bowl just did kick me off. I've been like how I broke my fast. That's a whole other story, and it seems just harder and harder.
You know what? That's important. Why don't you talk about that? Because that's important. Yeah, because breaking the fast. Listen, you're long-term raw. You can't just look at McFadden. Broke a fast on boiled potatoes and kill these bugs. You got to know what you're doing when you're getting these high levels.
Yeah. Well, I knew exactly that this was not the best thing in the world, but it was just, I was having a couple dark moments, and just stuff was just cleaning house, and just basically I did a 5-day dry fast, which I've never felt the power of the dry fast. That's not for everyone, guys. Obviously, but
especially long-term dry fasts. That guy, parachute didn't open. He did 12 days.
12 days.
And his urine, looked hot. It looked like sewage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So basically, I did that, and then 5 days later, or a week later, I broke the fast, and this was not what I wanted. It wasn't the worst thing to break a fast with, but it was not something I would ever plan on. Or I knew this was wrong, but I didn't care. It was just. Because food I used to be such a hardcore drug addict, like 11 plus years ago, and so I still have hard times with the addictive. Food and being the hermit for so long.
Oh yeah.
Food is the only person I've seen on a consistent basis.
Exactly.
So I'm working through it. I'm getting above it, but it's just. So I broke the fast with avocados. Like not the worst thing,
really?
But not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Gallstones. It was okay. It wasn't painful. I've done weird dry fasts where I did avocados before the dry fast, so I know how it works.
High oils pump those babies out, baby.
No, I did.
You never got better.
Did some stuff, yeah. But stupid. But also that's how when I just haven't had. Okay, guys, make sure. You get support. Get with a counselor. Get with a detox specialist. I can recommend a lot of really good detox specialists.
Yeah.
But it's just because I only saw Marcy twice, and honestly, I should have seen her more, especially for just the emotional support. And so that's one of the things that I could have done better in this 1.5-year journey.
Well, I got one better than that. I got one better than that. I'm in the woods for about 2 years, all raw, right?
Yeah.
Fruit predominantly. So I come out, I'm alone, so I meet this girl, and so a bunch of them are going to Ohio, and they said, "Why don't you tag along?" I said, "Oh, okay, I'll tag along. I kind of like this lady and stuff." And so I'm buzzing, We get in this airport, Ohio, middle of the night, snowing and everything else, and I'm going like this now, and I changed my whole matrix, so I'm starving, and there's this little bitty hamburger place, right? That's all. And I'm starving, and it's cold, and I'm going over the top there, right? So I look at the menu, and not French fries, and nothing on there but fish. Well, I haven't had meat in years, and I was going, oh, nothing. Nothing. Not a fruit, not a salad, no nothing, right? So I'm going, well, maybe I'll have a little of the fish. Yeah. All right. So I woke up in the middle of the night, and it's like someone took a baseball bat and hit me upside the man's private stuff. Oh. And you know how that hurts. But in like a baseball bat, I was in so much pain, they rushed me to the emergency room, right? Ooh. And I could remember McFadden, so I just killed myself.
Right.
I just freaking killed myself.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I said, I just killed myself. No, it spasmed my kidney so much it popped out a kidney stone. And it was a kidney stone. And it's like, well, at least I didn't die from it, but boy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. It was like I went from extremely high to extremely low. Whack!
Right.
Oh, man. So I know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. Oh, my God.
So what should we break it on? Fruit.
Juice
Always
is
break
fruit.
long-term fast on fruit.
Oh, yeah,
Watery
always.
fruit.
Oh, watery.
Even though
watermelon.
watermelon,
Papaya.
Oranges or something like that. You don't
yeah.
want to break any fast over a week
No,
with anything
never
other
do-
than fruit.
Never, that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just upfront with my channel. I want them to see my process and how I'm getting through it because.
Yeah.
And it's just-
Avocados are considered a fruit,
It's still
I guess,
fruit.
but I call them
It's-
veggie fruit. Like it's like more pudding type stuff. I love them, but not something to break a lunch faster because you need to flush. You need to get those kidneys moving because
Yeah.
just like you see the sediment coming out, you're stagnant. You need water,
Right.
astringents,
Right.
things like that. And so it does make a big difference how you break your fast.
It does, and especially like 115 days. It was basically, it
That's a
wasn't.
good one.
It wasn't a master fast, but it was kind of.
That was good.
It was long. It was
Are you
longer,
kidding?
but it was light. But with how long it was, that was not smart at all. And plus, when you like the Gino guy, he says that when you break something that long. Because this isn't a 40-day water. This is a lot longer where you're not digesting.
Exactly.
And so he claims that it takes like 2 to 3 weeks for your digestion, as long as you're breaking it the correct way, to actually start working right. And when you do a long juice fast, then when you break it right, you're cleaning on a whole different level because now you have the fiber coming back in and it's pushing some stuff out the right way.
I've always thought the goal of breatharian. Because you read, you mentioned some books earlier.
Oh, Hotima. I try not to talk about Hotima too much.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
I know, he's out there. But you know what? I love people that were out there, Hotima, Carrington, all these natural hygienists who were deeper into that.
Right.
Hotima, of course, the oranges. That's what turned me on to the oranges was Hotima.
because I told you, I just read that book. And I kept seeing where you I see
you see that little journey I made through there, right? Well, these guys are doing the same thing. They were out there. They were shoving it and going deeper and deeper into these levels. And then you had the other hygienists going into the vegetables and the carrot juices and stuff. And it was like, you had these boys going way